YouTube. This is your boy Ivan here. Uh, so kind of a little background about this. This is a TG Agent deck that I've been playing lately. I've been kind of trying to find out like the right build. Uh, this deck used to be meta back in the day, which is like probably like 7 or 8 years ago. That's when I first kind of got really back into playing again. I think this structure deck had come out like a month or two before. It was around when Dark Worlds were coming out, and this is the deck that my brother picked up. And it was like back then, you used to play it differently. You used to play with like card troopers and stuff like that, and then call the Haunted because the format was a little bit slower, so you could afford to wait a turn. Not like now where you need to put on like a crazy board or beatable play through like a negation or two. This deck doesn't really do that either, but it's just something that's kind of fun. I don't know, to me, which is kind of weird to say because I used to hate playing against this deck. Since I usually would just play test against my brother, and he would always kick my butt with this deck. So I'll just go ahead and get into the profile. Sorry if the cards are kind of like jumbled up. Basically, this deck plays like three boss monsters that you want to get into, which are Hyperion. And Hyperion, you summon him by banishing the agent either from your hand, field, or graveyard. Hopefully, you can get it from the graveyard. And his effect is that you can banish a light fairy monster from your graveyard, and then you can destroy one card in the field. I'm not playing Sanctuary in the Sky in this version. There's another version that I am playing Sanctuary in the Sky that uses some newer cards, but this deck, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right playing it in this build specifically. But Master Hyperion's still a really decent card. It's not as powerful as it used to be because it doesn't banish, it doesn't, destroy two cards, or it doesn't it's not able to use the effect on your opponent's turn, which is what most of the cards nowadays do. Then another boss monster is Archlord Christia. You probably know what this card does because it saw some play recently. It's basically just like Vanity's Emptiness on legs. And in this deck, you can actually summon it like the right way, I guess. Which is if you have four fairy monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon this, and you get to add one of those back to your hand. And then when this card is destroyed, instead of going or leaves the field, instead of going to the graveyard, it goes to the top of your deck, which kind of sucks too. And then Blackluster Soldier, pretty much, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this card does. This card was so good back in the day. It's still crazy to me to think that it's at 3, because this card was just so broken. Like, you would win so many games just having this card and Honest in your hand, because you would just attack over your opponent's monster, use Honest in the damage step, and then attack them either directly or attack another monster. And that was just so much damage that you would win. And that you could still do that. It's crazy. Like, Honest is at 3, Blackluster Soldier's at 3. Back in the day when you used to play this deck, I think Honest was at 1 and Blackluster Soldier was at 1. It actually just come back from the ban list. It's really easy to summon. That's what's even crazier. It just needs a light in the dark monster in the graveyard. Then for your agent monsters, you play Earth. Earth is basically your Stratos of the deck. It's also a tuner, which kind of helps out. But this card is also not that good because it only gets in its effect when it's normal summoned. So whenever it's normal summoned, you get to add any agent monster from your deck to your hand. And then, honestly, the only agent card that's worth playing, I guess, in this version is the Agent of Creation Venus. This card used to see a lot of play in World Challenge decks. Basically, you pay 500 and you get to summon a vanilla Shine Ball from your deck. The Shine Balls are level 2, 500 attack, 500 defense. There's a bunch of cool plays you could do with this. You can make like Saruja to draw 4. You can make the new Herald Link monster, or you can make the Parshath Link monster to let you search your Hyperion. And if you use your Venus, you can banish your Venus, and then you get Hyperion on the field, and then you can destroy a card because you'll have at least one Shine Ball in the graveyard. Then for like the other cards that you play, Honest is just this used to be like the best card in the deck, kind of back in the day, but now it's kind of like so because like it's just crazy to actually win a game by inflicting damage because most of the games now they'll end just because you can't break your opponent's board, which kind of sucks in a way, but that's just how Yu-Gi-Oh's evolved. Then for your TG monsters, I only play two of them. TG Werewolf. He's a dark, which helps out with your BLS. He can special summon himself whenever a level 4 or lower monster is special summoned. And then if he's destroyed on the field at the end phase, you can add another TG monster. That's the effect of the TG monsters. Most of them have that effect. Then you have Striker. He's a level 2 warrior. He's also a tuner. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this guy from your hand for free, which that was kind of cool back in the day. I think this card actually used to be like limited or semi-limited back then. I don't remember. I think it was at 2. No, you know what? I think yeah, it was at 2. Because TGs were actually like a decent deck back in the day. Then I'm also playing a tour guide engine. Tour guide just lets you get 2 monsters out. Then Sangan. Sangan's still a decent card because you can search like Honest, you can search Ghost Bell or Ghost Bell. You can so Ash Blossom, and you can search other stuff too. Like if you want to get another agent monster, or if you want to search Birdman. This card's really good. What you used to do back in the day with this card is you would have this card and Venus in your hand, and you would summon out all your Shine Balls. Then you would use Birdman to put Venus back in your hands, and then you can make Trishula, and Trishula was just a really powerful card. It's still a really powerful card, but not as like powerful as it once was, even though it got limited again, but that's just because of those synchro decks. They were just looping your entire hand away. I'm also playing a Dark Resonator because I wanted a way for Tour Guide to be able to make Crystron Needle Fiber. Because there's like a bunch of random hands where you'll have like Needle Fiber. I mean, you can make Needle Fiber, and then you'll have Hyperion on your hand, and you can use Needle Fiber to get the Agent of Mystery Earth from your deck, and then you can banish it to get your Hyperion on the field. Then Herald of the Orange Light. This card used to be like, some people played it, some people didn't. This card basically, if with your opponent's deck, there's a Herald for every type of card there is. Like there's a Herald for monsters, spells, and traps. And this one negates monster effects. And then like the one that I have in the side deck negates spells. I wasn't sure which one the main deck because they're both, pretty decent. You just discard another fairy monster, and you can negate any monster's effect. And it's cool against Nibiru because Nibiru is kind of annoying against this deck because you have to summon out your Shine Balls one at a time. Which is kind of cool too because you can also like some dude Ash blossomed my Venus, and I was like, okay, I can just use the effect again. It's kind of funny. And then for the spells, Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn's super good in this deck because it can bring back Archlord Christia when you get into the graveyard, and that card could just win games on its own. 3 Call by the Grave and 3 Solemn Judgment. Decks, I want to play some sort of draw power in it, but I didn't like the pot of the extra deck one, Pot of Extravagance, and I didn't like what's the other one? Oh god, I can't believe I can't remember. Pot of Desires, because it just banishes like a lot of the one-ofs you have, like, and I don't want to play more than one of some of these cards. But yeah, then for the extra deck, Trishula, obviously Trishula's like one of the best synchro monsters ever made. Herald of Pure Light, this card's super good in this deck too. It just takes 2 level 2 monsters. You detach a card from Eximus material, and then you get to get any monster from your graveyard added to your hand. But then you have to put one card back into your deck. This card's cool for like recycling BLS or Master Hyperions, stuff like that. Just really helps out. Then Levianeer is super good in this deck too, because with Tour Guide you can make Levianeer get back one of the monsters that you banished for Hyperion or BLS or Birdman when it banishes itself. Then just staple Link monsters, Borreload, Boral Sword, Saruja. Saruja's super cool in this deck because it's so easy to make with the Shine Balls. And then you can use his effect to summon out Hyperion or Christia. So if you can summon out Christia against certain decks that don't play outs, game one, not going because game two and three, people will side in like Dark Ruler no more and stuff like that. But game one, it's pretty clutch. It's won me a couple of games, even against like the Emancipators or the Eldritch deck, because almost every deck now that's any good has to special summon. So if you can stop special summons, then you can just win. Then Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Cerberus, Crystron Needle Fiber. This card's just dumb. It's crazy that we finally got it after all these years, and it's still like a bunch of combo stuff still happening with it. But it's not as broken, I guess, as people would say, even though some people will say, like, oh, just one Jet Synchrons, like so many crazy combos. But that's only in certain decks. Not every deck can abuse it, like back in the day. Salamangreat Almirage, it's cool if you can normal summon Sangan or whatever and link it off and get monster. The Draco Berserker of Tenyi, if I had a Boral Lord or whatever, the level 8 synchro monster is, I would probably play him over this, but I'm playing like with cards I have in real life. So I've decided to play that one. Then TG Wonder Magician, you can actually make this card because you're playing actual TG monsters, or you could also use it on your opponent's turn to pop a spell or trap, which is something that I kind of find crazy that Needle Fiber doesn't do that anymore a lot of the times because nobody plays the other extra synchro monster for that. High Speed Roy Chambara, you can do like a bunch of OTKs with him because he can attack twice, and he's really easy to make in this deck. Then the Herald of Mirage Lights, you can make this card actually with Tour Guide, which was something I didn't know. And he's basically like a Herald of Perfection. Whenever a spell, trap, or effect is activated, you can send a fairy monster from your hand and negate the activation. It's actually pretty decent. There's times where you can use this to stop your opponent from like Nibirian you, or just negating that random card that could stop you. Impermanence, it also is good against that. Then the Celestial Night Lord Parsath. This card you can make it with the Shine Balls. So basically, this card, you discard a card and you can add Master Hyperion to your hand. That's why this card's good. And then it has another effect, but it's rarely being used from just from playtesting. That whenever a fairy monster leaves your graveyard, you can special summon a fairy monster from your hand, or you banish a fairy monster from when a fairy monster on your field leaves the field. You can banish a fairy monster from your graveyard. Then you can special summon from your hand any fairy monster that has a level higher than the monster that you banished. And most of the time you'll be banishing a Shine Ball, so you can honestly just summon any fairy monster like Archer, Christia, or Hyperion from your hand. But that rarely happens. I used to play a Link Spider, so like when you did your Venus combo, you can do Venus and then the 3 Shine Balls. You would use Venus and 2 of the Shine Balls to make this card. Then you would link away your Shine Ball to make Link Spider, and that would activate this monster's effect. But you'd have to have Archer Christia or Hyperion already in your hand for that combo to be good. And a lot of the times it just didn't work out like that. So I decided just to not play it. Or just to play, I don't know, just not play the Link Spider because I think that Almirage is probably better. The side deck that I have, it's like whatever. It's just a basic side deck, something I threw together. I've probably played around 10 games with this deck so far, and I've won 4 times and I've lost 6 times. So it does have a losing record. I'm still kind of working on it. Still seeing what I like, what I don't like. This deck is a lot of fun to play because it just kind of like, for me at least, it's nostalgia. This is one of the decks that I used to play against a lot because it was my brother's like favorite deck for like the longest time. If he was still playing, he would probably still be trying to make this deck work. But I don't know. Just it has a lot of flaws. It loses to hand traps, which kind of sucks because the decks nowadays they have like a million ways to make combos and stuff, and this deck is just like summon one monster, hope it sticks, hope you get your effect off, and then from there, it's not even like a fast moving car. It's like it gets revved up and then it'll go fast, and then but if you know hit a block in the road or whatever, you just have to stop. But there's also a Sanctuary in the Sky version you can play. I've been playtesting with that too. Probably try to get a profile of that. Probably pretty soon. Probably on my next day off. So today's Friday. So probably like Monday or Tuesday, I'll try to get that profile out for you guys. Let me know what you guys think about this way of doing profiles. I know it's a little jumbled up. Because I don't know. I push sort on the freaking deck thing and it put it like this. I guess it's alphabetical order. I don't even know honestly how it sorts the cards, but it's just kind of annoying. And I was just too lazy to arrange all the cards. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully everybody's keeping safe. I know it's really hard to get through these times. Hopefully just killing time watching this stupid little video about me talking about one of the decks that I like or whatever can help you kill 15-20 minutes or even just 5 minutes, and you just want to see the deck, copy it or whatever, net deck it, try it out. Let me know what you guys think. And until next time, this is your boy Ivan. I'll see you guys later.